Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Here we are again with Laura Gleason and myself, Kristen Wilson, Leadership Conversations. And we are talking about the Keller Williams belief system in this series and what we fondly refer to as our WI4C2TES. And this week, we are on the second C of that acronym, which is commitment in all things. Laura, when you think about that commitment in all things, what stands out for you? What comes to mind?
Man, there's so many different things that I thought about on this, Kristen. I think in some ways it's if you look at every single one of the Y4C2Ts, which are behind or are my background behind me, it and the ones that we've already talked about: win-win or no deal, integrity, do the right things, customers always come first. Then those all are embodied in commitment in all things. And what comes to mind for me, some of the things I jotted down, is when I think about commitment in all things in my real estate business, it was a lifetime business. It was relational versus transactional, that I cared about the client. I wanted that client to be a lifetime client for me. So I took that relationship past the transaction, continued to check in with them, see what they needed. Did they need, different tradespeople to help with the house? It was my involvement in my community that really helped enrich my real estate business and career. They went hand in hand. My commitment in my community turned into my commitment in my business. It was a commitment in all things. Another way I think about this one, I'm reminded about Sherry Gregory, who's one of our amazing agents here, who was speaking at one of our team meetings recently. And she talked about, the ups and downs in real estate, and how when you get into a market that's more of a down market, that you have to learn how to take the no to a yes. And that you have to ask a lot of questions, and you have to dig deeper sometimes to get it to a yes. Like, what's really going on here? Don't just take one no and move on. Don't take two no's and move on. Don't take three no's and move on. Dig deeper. Don't give up. Commitment in all things. Be committed. So that the other part that turns into, for me, it starts with my commitment to myself and my community and my clients, but then it ends with my commitment to my business. And am I just a salesperson, or am I a business owner? And that's one of the things I love about Keller Williams, is that we teach people how to be business owners. Hey, everybody out there watching this, you are not just a real estate agent. You are so much more. You own your own business. And if you want to be a smart business owner, then you'll learn, embrace, and embody what it means to be commitment in all things. I have a couple of meetings today that I'm really looking forward to. This is a timely topic for me today, because I'm going to be sitting down with two great agents, one at the beginning of their career and one who's much farther along, and talking to them about what type of a business owner they are. And I'm looking forward to that. And
Yeah.
we're going to talk about their commitment.
And it's a conversation you're really good at having. And I appreciate your wisdom in knowing how to have that conversation, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Thank you.
I love what you shared, because it brings to mind what I was thinking about. When I think about this, there's two principles, or what we call in our company bold laws, that are just sage wisdom
Yeah.
that we share, that come from all kinds of resources, right? And one of them is clarity. Clarity is power. And the reason that stands out to me, one, is what you just shared, is when you were actively selling real estate as your main focus, you
Mm-hmm.
had some clarity around what you were going to be committed to.
Yeah.
So the first thing I would say, commitment in all things, is, what does that even mean? Right? Like, sometimes when you say something general, like in all things, it glosses over.
Yeah.
I would just highly encourage and challenge everyone to start writing down for their business, what is the all things? What are you committed to? Have absolute clarity around where you're committed, because then that becomes your platform.
Yeah, your one thing, right?
You know why and what and how you're showing up with that level of commitment. You know, a lot as a coach, we talk a lot about goals, and my question is always, are you 100% committed to that?
Yeah.
That's a great goal. What's your commitment level to that on a scale of 1 to 10? So if we look at it from that frame, ask yourself that as well. What am I committed to? What am I committed to for myself, for my family, for my clients, and who and why am I committed? The other bold law, sage advice that comes to mind when I think about this is how you participate here, how
Yeah,
you participate everywhere.
yeah, so good.
It's
Yeah.
a great it's like a mirror that you can hold up to yourself. When you look at the areas of your commitment and your commitment level, and you say, hey, I don't feel like I'm functioning at maybe a high level in this area, right? And where else is that showing up in my life? Take it back to your commitment level. And the reality is, if you're not committed to it, maybe it's time for a different lane or course of action or conversation, right? With a wise business advisor like Laura or myself, or a coach in the market center, or fill in the blank. However, I just say those two things, right? That's what came to mind. Clarity on your commitments. When you have clarity, it makes it easier to show up. And then checking your own, how you're showing up by saying, how I participate here is how I participate everywhere. That's what came to mind for me, Laura. Any other final thoughts?
That was so good. You got me thinking about those appointments I'm going to have today and some of the conversations we're going to be having. And the other thing after everything you said, Kristen, that comes up for me is when we do have shifts in our markets, and we're definitely talking about right now, there's, the recession word going around and the shifting market stuff going around. And when we talk about that commitment in all things means, again, you're willing to learn the skills for any market and be that smart business owner. And those two bold laws, the clarity is power, and how you show up here is how you show up everywhere. I think I said that not quite right. Those are so really good ones. Very good for us talking to all of our agents right now about how are you showing up? Are you committed? Are you committed to seeing for this to be your lifetime business and be a lifetime agent for your clients, which means that you go through the ups and downs with them? It's really good.
I think the final thought that made me think of is, as I'm looking at my own shirt that says mastery, and I'm looking at your background as well, thinking, God, every single one of these values is an opportunity for growth in our life. So consider rating yourself through each one of these and asking yourself, what's the next area that I want to work on mastery, in creating that growth path to mastery in that area, right? Win-win, integrity, customers, commitment, right? Next week, we're going to talk about communication, right? You could make this a checklist for a growth path for mastery. And
that's so good.
All right.
Boom.
Thank you guys.
Job.
Thank you guys. Have a great week. As always, we're here to support you, and we're available for help in any of these areas. Have a great day.